Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video I'm going to be going over the 10 best sets to collect, and the point of this video is basically just to expose you of different Pokemon card collections and sets that have been released previous years before. Now if you're new to collecting, you may only have been exposed to the era of Scarlet and Violet like Twilight Masquerade, Paldea Evolved, or Surging Sparks, but I think it's really important to kind of open your eyes to the other sets that you can still possibly collect if you want. So let's go and get started with the video. So the first set that we have here as far as collecting goes is the Lost Origin Trainer Gallery from Sword and Shield. So the big hits from this one are the Gengar card and a lot of the Pikachu variation cards. So you can see here we have the Pikachu VMAX for only going for around $60. We have the Pikachu V card. We have a Gengar card. And we have another Pikachu card sleeping. We have the Mew VMAX. So we're going to start this list off with a very affordable option basically, but our Lost Origin Trainer Gallery, it's such a nice set, especially for Pikachu collectors. You can see how nice looking the cards are, just featuring different trainers with their Pokemon. So this set is the only Trainer Gallery set that I'm going to be including in this list. Now moving on to the next set to collect, we have Crown Zenith Galarian Gallery. So when I first started, these cards were at so much higher price than they are now. But we have the Garantina now going for less than $200. The Mewtwo V-Star I was able to get for around like $100, or $125, but now it's going down. But we have basically the four quad card, the gold card Garantina, gold card Arceus, gold card Origin Form Dialga V-Star, and gold card Origin Form Palkia V-Star card as well. So if you can imagine in a quad binder, those four cards side by side, they look really nice. Other pairings of cards that are from this set, we have the Eevee Evolutions, Leafeon, Glaceon. We also have the Suicune, Entei, and Raikou Vs. So this card here, this card here, this card here. We have the Deoxys V-Star and Deoxys V-Max. Surprisingly, there's no Rayquaza in this set. I think that would have looked really nice. But if you watch my videos before, you know that I really like cards that work well together in pairs or in groups. And so you have the gold card pairings. You have the Mewtwo V-Star paired with the Mew V-Star, I believe, somewhere here. So Mew. Yeah, so this card right here, although it's not a V-Star, different ways that you can actually pair this set. So it's such a nice set to collect where it's not like overly priced. And actually this set is going down in value, which means it might be a good time to start collecting it. The next set that we have is X and Y Primal Clash. So I was actually able to see some of these cards in person. I have the Kyogre EX card full art, and these cards look so crazy. Like, look at the Primal Groudon full art card Omega, okay? Look at the Primal Kyogre EX Alpha full art card. So these look so nice, and my goal is to actually plan on working this set where I pair Groudon with Kyogre in different formats. So I'm going to pair the Primal versions of each Pokemon, the EX versions of each Pokemon, Alpha versions of each Pokemon. So I really like this set because the pairings of Kyogre and Groudon work really well together in different ways. But if you're not really a fan of Kyogre or Groudon or Sapphire Ruby, this might not be the set for you. Now within this set, we have a few Mega cards like the Mega Gardevoir, Aggron, and the Full Art Gardevoir. But check it out though. I mean, it's not too expensive as far as like the top chase cards go, but definitely worth looking into if you're from that Sapphire Ruby era. Next, we have Paldea Evolved. So Scarlet and Violet. This Magikarp has been on a downtrend, okay? So Paldea Evolved is probably like my fourth favorite set out of all the sets out there in the Scarlet and Violet era. But you can see here, like there's not a lot of crazy hit cards that are abnormally expensive. You have the Chi-Yu, you have the Tyranitar, Raichu. A lot of nice looking cards for anyone collecting sleepy Pokemon, but I think that Paldea Evolved is a lot easier to master set now, especially when it comes to price wise. So this is probably one of my favorite sets as far as like it being number 4. And the pairings would go, as you can see here, the Magikarp art is basically going on a downtrend, so the top trend being only $190. It's a pretty affordable set to actually start collecting. Now moving on to the next set, we have Scarlet and Violet 151. So with the nostalgia factor being a huge mark or appeal for this set, this has got to be one this list here just because it capitalizes on the original 151 Pokemon in a more modern appeal. So a lot of the artwork I do like my favorite has to be like this Alakazam card. where he's like in just his natural habitat. The Zapdos EX is also a really nice card. I've never really been a fan of like the Charizard or Blastoise hit cards, but the Charizard card, top hit card being around $200, this might be worth getting, where it's like challenging, but it's not super cheap, but it's also not super out of reach for casual collectors. So definitely check this set out if you want to start collecting it. I think this is probably, yeah, on the middle grade of best sets to collect. Next, we have Team Rocket. So as this list goes on, it does get progressively more expensive. So in honor of Destined Rivals coming out, which people argue is like not an entirely Team Rocket themed base set, which is true, right? It's got Heatwave Arena and Glory of Team Rocket all packed into one. But to my surprise, these cards I thought would be way more expensive, but when I looked at the top hit cards from Team Rocket, they're really not that expensive. So we have the Dark Charizard, we have the Dark Dragonite, the Dark Blastoise, the Dark Raichu, we have the Dark Gyarados. These are really not that expensive for being such vintage cards. So the top two hit cards being $230 and $130. The holo foils on vintage cards are unmatched. So if you're into vintage, if you want to recontinue your Team Rocket collection, I definitely think this is still worth collecting. Like there's so many nice holos that come from this set alone. Like the Dark Slowbro and the Dark Hypno, which are in my binder, look so nice as holos. And a Dark Dugtrio, gosh, it's such a nice set to collect. So this is why I wanted to include it. Next, you have Delta Species. So when I recently got started into collecting again a few months ago, I have never heard of Delta Species before, but I think the concept behind it is so cool. So it's basically Pokemon with different types of species. Yeah, so an example might be Dragonite as an electric type, or it might be Mewtwo as a fire type. So Delta Species, to me, when I first heard about it, the concept I thought was amazing. I knew for a fact I wanted to collect Delta Species cards just because it's so unnatural. It's not meant to be what it's supposed to be. It's like Umbreon is not meant to be, like, I think this is a dark icon, so it's a bad example. It's basically these Pokemon who are in these different types of species, and the cards themselves, especially the holo foil patterns, do look really good. And so my goal is I'm slowly collecting Delta Species cards. There are a lot of hit cards that are above $100, so this set might get a bit expensive to actually collect. But definitely worth checking out in case you haven't heard about it yet, Delta Species cards. Now the next set that we have is Twilight Masquerade. So Twilight Masquerade is the first set that I tried aiming for. But with the Twilight Masquerade Master Set slowly trending downwards, I think it's a lot more affordable option to start master setting. There's not a lot of popular Pokemon aside from the Greninja. You do have some hit cards for female trainers on top of the list here as well. Worth checking out though, just because I feel like Twilight Masquerade in the long run will eventually do better and better just because of the artwork itself. So you have the Infernape, which is such a sick looking card. You also have the Tatsugiri, which is starting to become a fan favorite Pokemon. And then you have the female trainers, which are going to carry the weight. The only like original Pokemon that's part of this set that I think is a hit is the Eevee. And there's like some speculation saying that these are all the Eevee evolutions together. But definitely check it out though, as far as being one of the sets to collect. Now, moving on, we can't go wrong with base set, okay? And the reason why I'm including base set 2 within this video is simply because base set 1 can get really expensive really fast. But you really can't go wrong with the nostalgic factor of collecting the holos from vintage sets. So base set 2, this is something that I'm working on right now as well. I need the Venusaur and I need the Nidoking. But if you're interested in basically recontinuing your childhood collection of collecting base set 2, it might be worth collecting. A lot of the cards here, you don't have to get near mint, is something I always want to point out to collectors. Like in your binder, if you're not really into condition, a lightly played card might look exactly like a near mint card. And with vintage being out for so long, there's going to be a lot of heavily played, moderately played, lightly played cards that are still worth collecting and still worth adding to your binder. So with base set 2, I have in my binder a lot of lightly played to heavily played cards, and they look perfectly just fine. They look so nice in my binder. But base set 2, I definitely have to include in the list for being a nostalgic recollection of recontinuing your collection if this is something you worked on before. Now, moving on from this card list, we have the Cosmic Eclipse price guide. So big cards here are the Reshiram and Zekrom GX tag team card. This is the alternate full art card right here for Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia tag team. Such a nice looking card. And then we have Reshiram, Zekrom. So I am definitely after this card here, the GX card featuring N in the middle. But Tag team cards, such a nice way to collect cards, and the Sun and Moon Cosmic Eclipse has a lot of nice looking tag team cards. Look at this card here, Vileplume GX, and you also have trainer tag team cards as well, which seems to be a niche. But definitely worth checking out though, as far as a set to collect. It's not the cheapest set, of course, but if you're into tag team cards, if you're looking for a wide variety of them, definitely worth checking this one out. Now moving on from that, we have X and Y Ancient Origins. So now I'm introducing the Mega cards. So you have Mega Rayquaza here. You have Primal Groudon. You have Primal Kyogre. Such beastly looking cards with the flashy artwork, the Japanese text. All of this looks so nice. Okay, so I do have the Mega Tyranitar card. Thankfully, I was able to get it at a moderately played level. So it wasn't 67 bucks, it was like 20 bucks. And then we have the Full Art Garantina card from this pack as well. But definitely worth checking out as far as X and Y Ancient Origins go. There's a lot of Pokemon here which are super cool, worth collecting. I know someone who's collecting only Amphiroses, and he's desperately looking for this Mega Ampharos card. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't heard about this set just yet. This is the X and Y Ancient Origins set. Now moving on from that, we have Evolving Skies. So for all my Eevee Evolution collectors out there and want to challenge themselves, this is no cheap set to collect, okay? So I was only able to get one card from this set, which is the Rayquaza V alternate art. But there are so many alternate arts for this set, okay? You have the Dragonite, you have the Glaceon, you have the Sylveon, the Leafeon. So many alternate art VMAX cards, which are well over $100. And then you have the Moonbreon card, which a lot of people have priced very highly. But this set here, I had to put on the list just because I don't think there's ever been a set that's looks so stacked when looking at the price guide for this one here. You have the Eevee Evolutions, you have legendary Pokemon, you have fan favorites like Dragonite, you also have rainbow versions of popular Pokemon as well. And you have the VMAX versions and the V versions. It's like targeting all these different collectors into one set. Evolving Skies was, I knew about it when it first came out, but really nice looking set, especially. And then lastly, we have Team Up. So I love the tag team cards, and I organized this to be with the most top expensive chase cards versus the least expensive. So you have Latios and Latias tag team card over here. You have the Gengar card with Mimikyu here. You have the Magikarp and Wailord here. Those are the three main hits. And you also have Eevee and Snorlax over here as well. I wish this card looked a bit better. I don't know why they outlined Eevee and Snorlax in blue. But with this set having the most expensive single market price card, if you really want to challenge yourself, Sun and Moon Team Up is one of the sets to collect. It's going to be very difficult. You're most likely going to have to do single card collecting or shopping. But definitely worth checking out as far as if you've never heard about it before, browse around it. This is the Sun and Moon Team Up set. But there you have it, guys. 10 best sets to collect in no particular order. But let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this helped inform you of different cards or sets that are out there aside from just the Scarlet and Violet era. But thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.